Hello, my name is Katie Caprive, and my presentation is on the effects of habitat fragmentation on mus musculus's biological success and ability to reproduce efficiently. So, habitat fragmentation is altering a habitat that was once continuous. So this causes division patches as well as separates the habitat that was once naturally continuous. This is caused by human activity like deforestation, urbanization, agricultural development, and transportation development like building roads. The lands that are affected by habitat fragmentation are mainly forests, grasslands, plains, and even coral reefs. In forest, habitat fragmentation causes edges in the forest that are now exposed, and roads causes a separation of the habitat that was once naturally continuous. So this is important because habitat fragmentation separates plants and animals from the resources they need. Animals have a harder time moving safely and efficiently. So for forests, animals are affected by habitat fragmentation, like the forest-dwelling animals who move from tree to tree. They now have to travel on the ground to the other side of their habitat, which leaves them vulnerable to predators. And roads, animals are now forced to cross the street to get to the other side of their habitat. So this affects species abundance, richness, and ability or overall success. So the overall success that is affected is their ability to reproduce efficiently, their ability to find food, and their ability to live in a suitable environment. So the question here is, how does habitat fragmentation affect biological success and ability to produce offspring in mus musculuses? So rats are used because of their size makes them easy to observe and handle, as well as their high reproduction rate. Now, in this experiment, 2 groups of 8 rats are going to be used, 8 rats in each group, 3 female and 5 male at the age of 10 weeks old. This is their sexual maturity age. The control group will represent the natural habitat. They'll have a single-story cage, 54 by 31 inches, and they're going to have nothing but a food and water bottle. And for the experimental group, they're going to represent a fragmented habitat. This is going to be a 31 by 54 inch cage, and it's going to be 3 stories tall, filled with ladders, huts, climbing rope, blocks, a series of tunnels, and of course food and water. So the rats will be able to roam freely in their cage, their designated cage, for a total of 7-month period. They will be fed the same rat pellet food and food and water changed daily. These animals will be closely observed for behavior changes, eating habits, and reproduction progress. So the group that produced the least amount of offspring is going to be the less biologically successful group. So my hypothesis is that a cage that is fragmented, the experimental group will need more time, will have a harder time finding their food, moving around their cage, and therefore have a less reproduction rate than the control group that has just a single-story cage with all their resources easily available to them. So this is the result of the expected positive results of the experiment. So this experiment shows that the experimental group with the normal free-roaming cage was able to produce more offspring and therefore be more biologically successful than the unnaturally fragmented cage that produced less offspring. And then here would be an example of a negative outcome, being that this negative result shows that there was little to no difference between reproduction rate in either the fragmented cage or the naturally undisturbed cage. And that will conclude my presentation. Thanks for watching.